Well, good afternoon, everyone. It is a beautiful day here in Florida, and I have decided, while I've got a couple hours this afternoon before we have to run off somewhere, I'm gonna go ahead and start my little trail build. Hopefully you've already watched the video back before this one where I kind of explained what I'm starting here, gave a little tour through the woods, and also talked about some equipment that I have coming and I'm pretty excited about that's going to really help me with this. But I want to go ahead and get started, even though I do not have that equipment yet, because back here in the woods I do have a couple big trees that are down. I'm not sure if they're rotten or if I can salvage some firewood out of them, but I would like to go ahead and get a couple seasoned trees, because up until today it's been cool for the last week and a half, and we've been burning through a lot of firewood, and there's a cold front coming through tomorrow and it's supposed to cool back down. So I really do need some firewood. So I'm kind of eager to go ahead and get this trail started. We'll get through the woods here a good little ways, get me close to getting access to that tree, or one of the two trees that I'd like to get to. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I sat this morning in the tree stand and had a pretty awesome morning. Had a lot of turkey and deer show up, no buck, I wish. I'm going to cut to that real quick and let y'all check that out, because it was pretty neat. I don't know if this camera's picking up how much racket they're making. I have never heard turkeys be so vocal, especially in the fall. As you can see, had a lot of action. That was a pretty awesome morning, so really enjoying the shooting house. It's so nice sitting in there with a heater going. Never really had that kind of luxury before, and I'm hoping that these trails that I'm going to put through the woods, they're going to come out into the food plot in two different spots. I'm thinking the animals are going to use these trails a lot, so I can maybe get some predictable places where they may come out. And if they travel them a lot, I'll put cameras up in here, and I may wind up putting some stands up in the woods. Let's get started. I've made pretty good progress no longer than I've been out here. The trail's going to go through here, and I have to take this little tree out and another one, and I'm kind of getting to my first stopping point. I don't know if y'all can see that big root over there. That's that really big oak that blew over that I was showing y'all in the other video, and I'm going to see if I can salvage some firewood out of that. So if I can get a clear trail to here, at least I can get the Ranger back in here, or tractor, and try to start salvaging some firewood before I can continue to carry the trail on around this pond. So I really need to cut these two trees here, but this one has a really big, odd base, the way it's grown in. So I think I'm gonna push a trail in here with the tractor and see if I can push these over and uproot them. That'd be a whole lot better. Everything I've cut up to this point has been real small stumps that I don't think will bother me. And I've cut them close enough to the ground that the tractor mower should go over no problem. Now I have trees here, obviously, another tree up there and some vines, and even further out, another really big tree. And I've cut them all up to the point that I can bring the tractor in here with the root rake and start pushing these out of the way. So I think that's going to be my next step. Actually, I'm going to take the pole saw real quick, prune a couple limbs that's up high that I know will hit the tractor glass. Then I think I'm going to grab the tractor and see if I can push some of this stuff out of the way and these couple of trees behind me. This here is my Stihl pole pruner, and it's going to be getting used a lot on this project, and I plan on doing a review on this particular model, but I want to wait and do it after I get at least a good stretch of trail cleared through so I can get my honest review and opinion on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and prune a few of these vines and limbs here so they're not hitting the tractor glass. Then I'm gonna head back, get the tractor, push some of this, and at least I'll have my first knocking off point, first section done of the trail. Still have a long ways to go. Alright, well, you can see where we're at. I'm at a knocking off point today. We've got to go to a get together this afternoon, but this is the back corner of the food plot. Coming into the trail. I'm going to try to walk real slow. This camera does not like focusing when I'm moving and it's low light like this. So this was a heavily used deer trail, and hopefully this don't spook them, but I seriously doubt it does. If anything, I'm going to set a camera up on this, and I bet they'll use it even more now. Deer seem mighty curious whenever you plow something up or blast a trail through the woods. Hey, they're like us. They're going to take the path of least resistance, so I think they're going to take a wide open trail. Now, all I have done at this point is just push stuff out of the way, chainsawed and pole sawed down some limbs. I'm trying to make my mind up if I'm going to go ahead and do my entire trail system, then hook up to the mower, mow out all this little brush that's in it, then hook up to the box blade and start leveling my trail. Or if I'm going to complete a section like I did today, then mow it, then box blade it. That's just going to be a lot of hooking up to implements if I do it that way. So I may wind up just blasting the trail all the way through, which is going to take a while, then come back and start cleaning it up. So I probably got a good 100 and some odd yards done today. Like I said, my main goal was to get down to some blown down trees and some of that fat wood lightered that I was showing you on the last video. You know, I want to take advantage and use some of that. And what I've done is I've piled all the limbs and trees up off to the side, so whenever my chipper comes in, I'm going to make a chip pile somewhere in this general area, another one further down. That way I can just come back with my bucket and scoop the chips up and haul them all the way up to the pile up front. It just doesn't make sense to keep dragging all these limbs anywhere, especially up front, when I can just make a small chip pile here, move on to the next set of trees, drag them to the chipper, like I said, make another pile, scoop it up, go on about my business. Still got to take this tree out. See, there's a pretty nice little rub on it. I can fit through here, but I won't be able to with the mower on there. And I don't want to cut this tree down just yet until I get my chipper here. And actually, I'll probably save a few of these blocks out of it for firewood. Then I'd rather chip larger stuff up like this when it's really green. I don't want to risk the chipper taking a while and stuff drying out. I figure greenwood's going to be a whole lot easier on my blades. This is a pretty rough section here. Does a lot of this. So I'm definitely going to come back and work this with a box blade later. Like I said, I think I'm going to save that toward the end of this trail building. Then I'll come through and clear everything up. As you can see, this is a nice long straightaway here. And as y'all seen, these small sweet gums, the tractor pushed them over excellent. Popped the roots up no problem. That's about as big a trees as the tractor tends to like. Pushed a lot bigger one down, but if I include it in the video, you see I struggled with it for a little bit. That's about as big as I'm going to push because I just don't want to hurt the tractor. Anything that large or larger from here on out, I'll probably cut down with the chainsaw. And this is as far as I made it today. Still got to work on that one root there that was giving me a fit. And this whole area is very uneven. So I'm going to have to move some dirt in here later, box blade it out and haul some in with the bucket. I'm going to continue to work that way before cutting back across what I call my duck pond over there. But there's a couple of the trees here, the sweet gum trees. I'll probably take a couple small blocks of wood out for firewood. Everything else is going to get chipped up. And I also went back this direction a little because, again, this is the main reason I wanted this trail to get here, was so I can get access to that tree. See if I can get some firewood out of it. It may be too rotten. I see I ran over a lightered stump that I did not see. I wish I hadn't have done that. But this is what I'm talking about when I say fatwood lightered. If you could smell that, it just smells flammable. And this is hard as a rock. So this is solid resin that come down out of that pine tree after it died. And this is all that's left is a stump. But that right there, if you get it lit and on fire, it will burn like mad. You can see another stump right there, that's all lightered as well. So I'll put this over there. I will come back and get this. And you can take a small hatchet, chop this up. And it's real good for starting outside fires. Well, hopefully y'all enjoyed this. There's a lot more of this coming. I'll get into using the pole saw more. Like I said, eventually I'll do a review on that. You're going to see a lot more chainsaw work here, running some firewood in and out. And just as soon as that chipper shows up, we'll start chipping up all these trees and making a wood chip mulch pile. And hopefully it's broke down enough by next year that I can start using some of that compost out of it for our garden. Appreciate y'all watching.